Kia ora team, and welcome to Big Boys Boxing, where we're all about exactly that. The big boys. With big knockouts. And the big fights. So let's get into this. What up team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing for the heavyweight review of the two big fights over the weekend. We may chat a little bit about some of the other fights that happened over the weekend that weren't heavyweight as well. We'll just see how we go. So, don't forget on your way in to hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and the bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss anything. So, we shall start with, where is it? We'll start with this one. Martin Bakole smashes Jarrell Anderson to bits, y'all. He smashed him. It was man versus boy. I had a feeling this might happen. Now, I know I did put out a prediction video a few days before the fight, and I was so torn. I did eventually pick Jarrell Anderson on points, thinking maybe he could use his feet and his speed to stay away from Martin Bakole, but he didn't do anything like that. The first round, well, before we get into the fight, I did schedule a live stream after the weigh-in. I was going to do a live stream and talk about some of the things that were involved in the weigh-in. Martin Bakole was, 284. He lost about 15 pounds since he fought Carlos Takam. Jarrell Anderson was, 253 or something. The heaviest he's been, but only by a pound or two. Yeah, so that was the weigh-in stuff for that one. But after the weigh-in and seeing them face to face and seeing how serious Martin Bakole was, and Jared's still kind of smiling and having a good time, enjoying the atmosphere and whatnot, it prompted me, I'll just go and have another look at the Martin Bakole v Tony Yoka fight. And after watching it, it's like, I think Martin's going to stop him. He's going to stop him in the first half of the fight. But I ended up getting too tired and didn't want to do the live stream to let y'all know what I think might happen. I did have a bet on Jarrell Anderson on points, but I cashed that in and changed it and put a double down for Miller on points and Bakole by knockout. We'll get to how pissed off I am about that a little bit further through this. But this Martin Bakole fight, you see in the first round, the commentators, American commentators, were pretty high on Jarrell Anderson, as many are or have been. Jarrell was picking and poking like it was easy work at the start of the fight, and Martin was pretty much just standing there, sizing him up, seeing what he's going to do, getting a feel for his speed and his power. And then towards the end of the round, he landed an uppercut that stunned Jarrell. Then he threw an overhand right that stunned him more, stumbled back to the corner, landed another uppercut, and down goes Jarrell Anderson for the first time in his professional career. It's like, whoa, here's the man versus boy. Fortunately for Jarrell, it was right at the end of the round, so he got up, beat the count. The ref said box, and then the bell went. I think Bakole landed one right hand as the bell went, so he got out of round two. Jarrell got a bit of a break, luckily. If that had have been a minute into the round, I think Martin would have had enough time to finish him in the first round, but it wasn't. So Jarrell came out poking to the body and throwing a jab here and there, but he was stabbing a straight jab to the body, and Martin it looked like he was almost laughing at him. It wasn't doing anything to him. Nothing Jarrell threw throughout the whole fight bothered Bakole whatsoever. He landed some big ass overhand rights. He landed some good stiff jabs. He landed some good left hooks, but nothing moved the 284-pound beast from the Democratic Republic of Congo. No way could he move him. I think Jarrell may have possibly pinched the second round. Martin didn't throw too much at the start of the round. He threw a few, but Jarrell landed more. I don't think they were as effective as what Bakole was throwing, but you know, you could give Jarrell the second round, but that's the only round I think you could give Jarrell. The third round, Martin started pouring it on a bit. You could see he was pushing Anderson back almost all the time. Jarrell was just trying to get away, get some space so he could regather himself, and he was still trying to pick and poke, and he was throwing back when he got hit, but he was still going backwards, still getting mauled. The fourth round, Bakole poured it on a little bit more. He did stun Anderson at one point and threw a few punches, but Anderson fought his way out of the corner at the end of the round, and they went back to their corners. But you could see that was kind of the turning point where Martin was going to start pouring it on, and sure enough, in the fifth, he landed another one of these big uppercuts and dropped Anderson. He managed to beat the count. I think it was actually the first knockdown in the fifth. When he went down, he fell down, rolled underneath the bottom rope, and half his body was hanging off the ring apron. He was just about flipped right over out of the ring. He would have had 20 seconds to recover if he did that. It might have been a good idea to try and fall down there, so he had a little bit more time to recover. But he got up, and Bakole came forward, throwing combinations, doubling up the right hand, then throwing a left hook, then throwing an uppercut, and Jarrell goes down again. And you can see the look on his face at that point was, I'm right in the shit here. I'm going to lose this. But the ref said, you're good to go, as he was going through the count. And Jarrell nods his head, so he gets up. And before he let them said box, he said, one more time. So he tried to fight, and Bakole just came forward, threw a big barrage of punches, got Anderson up against the ropes. He was taking heavy shots. The ref stepped in and stopped the fight. So there was 3 knockdowns, 1 in the first, 2 in the fifth. Oh, it was actually, 2 in the fifth, and the referee stopped it before Jarrell went down again. So it really was man versus boy in there. And some of y'all may have seen my video when this fight was first announced. It was like, wow, you serious? You're going to put Jarrell in there with this guy? Do you guys just not know who he is, or are you just that confident in the ability of Jarrell Anderson? Because it's a big jump. Don't get it jaded. Martin Bakole is easily a legit top 10 fighter. After this, you could argue he could be maybe close to top 5 or 6. So Jarrell Anderson hadn't fought anybody as big and as strong as Martin Bakole. And some of y'all who don't know much about Bakole may have been surprised by he's actually got some very good hand speed. He switches up his punches quite well. Yes, he's a bit heavy and his feet are quite stationary. But he actually moves his head a little bit too on defense. He keeps his hands quite low because most people can't hurt him. I've never seen Bakole actually properly hurt, besides when he was injured and couldn't lift his arm up against Michael Hunter. He was in pain there, but that was the injury. That wasn't what he was getting hit with. So, big, bad mistake by the team running Jarrell Anderson's career. You sure he had to step up sometime, but I don't think he should have stepped up against somebody as dangerous, as strong, and as heavy-handed as Martin Bakole. I was talking with the boys as we were watching the fight together on Discord, and it's amazing how hard Martin Bakole actually punches, because when he throws, his hands are fast. He's not putting everything on them, but they are arm punches. He doesn't turn his hips into the punches. He doesn't put his shoulders into it. They're all arm punches, but they're still heavy hands, man. Still heavy hands. After the fight, Jared Anderson was asked, did he surprise you at any point? He says, oh yeah, dude's strong as shit. He says, I thought I had it, to be honest. After I started working in the second and third round, I thought I got on top of it, but dude just kept coming, man. Just kept coming, kept throwing, and everything hurts when it lands from Martin Bakole. So, big ass win for Martin Bakole. He was already the number one with the WBC. Yeah. Alright, so we got in the chat, we got Yolda. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. The King of Scotland. Yeah, the King of Scotland, alright. He's been that way for a while. With Turkey getting involved, he's not going to be able to be avoided. His fighters are going to be offered paydays that are going to be worth it to fight Martin Bakole. Throughout the broadcast, some of the commentators, and myself included actually, were talking to the boys saying, you know, a decent fight would be Martin Bakole v. Zhili Zhang, because Zhili might have the power to be able to get some kind of respect from Martin Bakole, but I still see a problem with that fight. Zhili Zhang, he can't go past 5 rounds. His gas tank empties, and somebody with the volume and heavy hands of Martin Bakole, I think, would beat Zhili Zhang down. Might even stop him, because dude can punch, man. Alright, I forgot, y'all, there is a link in the chat for anybody who may like to jump on and have a yarn. I'll pin that to the top. I thought I could pin that to the top. What the hell? 3 dots. Oh, 3 dots. Let me pin it. There it is. We'll pin that to the top. Give me a sec here. I'll go get into the chat myself. I forgot about that. And boosh. I'm in the channel. If anybody wants to jump on, hit that link. It'll drop you into Discord, and you will appear on the stream. Yes, so right, that's pretty much that one covered. Actually, I'll get on to potential opponents after we've talked about this other one. So this other fight that we had, this one here, the return of the destroyer Andy Ruiz against a freshly beaten Big Pharmacy Miller. This is a hella interesting fight as well, but I did pick Jarell Miller on points, and after I saw the weigh-in for this one, I thought even more so that that would be the case. Andy Ruiz at 274, and looking in actual worse condition than I've seen him for quite some time. Even the fight against Joshua, the second one, he didn't look great. I think he was slightly heavier for that, but he looked maybe a little bit more toned. This one, he really does look like he's been out of the ring for 2 years. Tried to lose a bit of weight, and he didn't have the gas tank whatsoever. Just let me look at the fan scores on BoxRec. They haven't got the actual scorecards of the judges up yet, because I want to see what rounds these two dudes who gave it a draw. I want to see what rounds they gave Miller and what rounds they gave Andy Ruiz. So the first card was 116-112 to Jarell Miller, and that was from Robert Hoyle. The other 2 cards were 114-114. That was Lou Moret, I think that's how you say it. It might be Murray. No, Lou Moret. I thought it's Lou Moretti. I thought it was his name. Anyway, and the other guy was David Sutherland. Now, this David Sutherland, he's put out some dodgy cards in the past. But anyways, the way the fans did it, so they gave Ruiz the first, the second, the third, and the fourth round. Personally, I gave Andy the first three. I think it might have been four, where it's Jarrell started to try and punch a bit more. I might have given him the fourth. Yeah. Then from 5 all the way through to far out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All the rest of the rounds the fans gave Miller. Apparently. These are calculated on a whole lot of fans putting in their scores, right? So it's averaged out. Now I did score at 116, 112, but I gave 1, 2, and 3 to Ruiz. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I think I can't remember what it was, the 11th or the 12th round I gave to Andy. I think I gave the 12th to Andy because Miller was absolutely gassed in the 12th. He didn't really throw anything. So I don't know how the fans gave him the 12th. I think it was the 12th. It was one of those. 12th or 11th was the fourth round that I gave Andy. The rest were for Miller, for me. Now, round 4 could have gone either way. And round 8, apparently, some people gave to Andy Ruiz as well. I didn't give the 8th. You could argue the 4th for me. So if you gave Andy the 4th, that would make it 115, 113 still to Miller. Now don't get me wrong here. I'm not a Jarell Miller cheerleader over here. But that dude won that fight. He won that fight. He could have made it more conclusive, particularly in the earlier rounds, if he was popping that jab like he started doing through the middle of the fight. It stops Andy countering so much, especially if Jarell doubles up the jab. But I think he was worried about his gas tank being 12 rounds, and coupled with him being so inactive in the first 3 to 4 rounds. He was coming forward trying to make the other fat boy work, but he wasn't putting anything out whatsoever. He needed to at least get something in there to help him deter Andy Ruiz from throwing combinations. But it's real interesting. This loss that Jarell Miller has taken seems to have given him proper motivation to get his ass in the gym, kick his own ass. He's started training with Bozy Yunus in Philly. So, those guys train hard. If Jarell Miller keeps continuing training hard like that, he could get himself pretty close back to the top of the stack again. Now, personally, I do not want to see a rematch between these two. I'm about sick of seeing Andy Ruiz get given good opportunities when he's such a lazy fat prick. He's not committed to his sport. He keeps saying he's doing this right, he's doing that right now, but if he was, he would be in a lot better shape. So he's lying to the fans. He's still living off that upset win he had over Joshua. And, for those of you who were in my comment section saying this is going to be easy work for Andy, what the hell you smoking, man? You got to share that shit, because that must be some good shit, man. Must be some real good shit. We got Stephen, aka Marla, in the building. Good to see you, brother. I didn't want to see Ruiz again. Yeah, there you go. See, for hardcore fans who have watched Andy Ruiz throughout the years, yeah, he's a fat boy who's got fast hands. And he's had a couple of good fights in his career. He did pretty well against Joseph Parker for his first world title opportunity. He was in pretty good shape. I think he was in the late 250s or early 260s then. And he was being active at the time. He did get a good win against Anthony Joshua, but once again, he was active. It was only 2 or 3 weeks beforehand he fought Alexander Dimitrenko. So when Andy's active, it's easier for him to keep in shape. But I've got no doubt that Andy Ruiz is hungry, like he keeps saying. But it's not for glory in boxing, I don't believe. I think it's more for tacos and nachos and turkey I'll shake paydays. Ever since he got that big payday from beating Joshua, he's been more motivated by money than anything else. And I don't think it's really done him any good as a fighter. He keeps going off the rails, and it shows in his body language. But I did end up putting a double on for Andy Ruiz, Jarell Miller to win by points, and Martin Bakole to win by knockout. I'm just going to go look up the bet. I only put $5 on it, and it was paying $81 for the win. I believe I got fucking ripped off. Dodgy freaking judges, man. I was pissed off. That would have put me over $100 up for the weekend. And I'm only a small better. I only bet $5 on most things. So where is it? My bets settled. No, not that one. Not that one. $5 double. There it is. Yeah. $5 I put on it, and it would have been paying, it doesn't say anymore. It was paying $81 something just for the double. I couldn't believe it. But then these pricks turn around and give a dodgy decision. I mean, if one judge saw 116, 112, surely one of the other judges should have at least seen it 115, 113 to Miller. So I'm pissed off. Even Turkey Al Sheikh was interviewed after the fight, and he thought Jarell Miller won. So it is what it is, man. I hope we don't have a rematch, but potential opponents. I did see Jarell Miller. Actually, I posted it in the Big Boys Discord. Jarell Miller in the changing rooms talking to, I think it was Fight Hype, talking about how he's been ripped off before. I think he's referring to the draw against Joey DeWaco he had early in his career in a 4-rounder. It certainly couldn't have been jobbed on the cards in his only loss, because you don't need judges when you get knocked the fuck out. So yeah, he was talking about potential opponents and maybe a rematch, and Jarell was saying, if I have to do the rematch, I'll do the rematch, but I don't want to fight anybody that I'm emotionally attached to. I've actually become pretty good friends with Andy. I don't like fighting Andy, like fighting my friends. You know, he said when he was fighting, you could see Andy's son outside the ring crying, and it made him feel shit. You know, your dad's alright. I'm alright. Watching someone's kid crying at the ringside when their father's potentially losing against a friend, it's got to be pretty emotionally heart-wrenching and whatnot. So I can understand that he doesn't particularly want a rematch, but he also mentioned other fighters that he doesn't really want to fight because he's friends with them. There was Joseph Parker, there was Martin Bakole. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a Martin Bakole and Jarell Miller fight. You know, one that I wouldn't mind seeing for Jarell Miller, since Derek Chisora's back on a high. Why not? Derek Chisora, Jarell Miller, that's a great style matchup. I'll be interested to see that. Martin Bakole is the WBA number 1. Let me look up the rankings just quickly here. He really should be getting ordered by the WBA to fight in a final eliminator, either against the next highest rated WBA contender or the WBA regular champion. I think it's still Manuel Cha, and I think Cha and Miller had been ordered before. It went to Perspit and nobody bidded on it. Nobody wants to mess with the Manuel Cha fight because it ain't worth fuck all. Alright. And this WBA regular belt has been reinstated thanks to a court case from Manuel Cha. Yeah, it is Manuel Cha. Or Mahmoud Cha, sorry, whatever his name is. Doesn't matter what his name is, he's freaking useless anyway. But the next in line for the WBA is Anthony Joshua, but he's fighting for the IBF title against Daniel Dubois, so that's not going to happen. Number 3 is Tyson Fury. Tyson's busy with a rematch with Usyk, so that's not going to happen either. Next in line is Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter, the one man who beat Martin Bakole. Now, Martin's been trying to get that rematch ever since the loss happened due to the shoulder injury. Hunter hasn't been interested. But guess what? Now Michael Hunter is lower ranked than Martin Bakole. And I'm pretty sure Michael Hunter was actually at the fight and Martin called him out and Michael Hunter said, yeah, let's do it. So that could be a final eliminator. I reckon that's the best way to go. Fuck Mahmoud Cha, he can piss right off. He can do it for Quendo and stay regular champion until he retires. Who cares? Stay the hell away. So let's go Turkey. Get Michael Hunter and Martin Bakole in the ring in the WBA final eliminator, and we can see, barring any injuries, who is the best. Alright, we got Steven in the house. How are you today, bro? Are you hearing me, Steven? Are you muted, mate? Your mic's not working or something. Oh, he'll chime in hopefully when he's ready. No, you're not muted. It's just your mic's not working, buddy. What's this? Oh, I deafened. Why can't... Hold on. That's me, it's not you. Hold on a minute, Stephen. Oh. What the hell's going on here? Oh, I see. Hold on. Digital audio. No, not that one. There we go. Should be able to hear you now. But I can't. Fuck. Why is that red? I'm not sure why I can't hear you. Hold on a minute, mate. I'm trying to sort this out. Hasn't done this before. Voice and video. Change my audio. Make sure that's right. Ah, there we go. I see the issue. Voice meter AUX. Input, no, not that one. What's this? No. Voice meter input BB. No, I don't think it's that one. Shit, man. Oh, we'll put you on cable input. See if that works. Man, I don't know what's going on here. Usually works. Says I'm deafened. I don't know how to fix it. God damn it. Sorry, Stephen. Got no rings around your thing like you're talking anyway, but what the fuck? Server deafened. How do I undeafen the server? God damn it. Why is the server deafened? And how the fuck did it get that way? This is what happens when you don't do a live stream for so long, you forget how to do this shit. What do we got? Digital audio, voice meter, AUX input. That's the one I want. Oh, there we go. Hello. No, that's not it. Fuck's sake. And I just gotta find the undeafen button. I don't know how to do it. Server settings, privacy settings. Oh, I'll try this. So, this channel has special permissions to listen in. You will need someone like a server moderator or admin to undeafen you. Maybe I can do it on my phone with my other account. If I can find my fucking phone. Wait a sec, team. Oh, I'm sorry about this. Fucked it right up. Now I can't even find my fucking phone. There it is. Give me a sec, team. Into there. Find. So there I am. Whoa! Wow.
Coming now.
Just a sec. That's mute server. Where's deafen? Hold on, Steve. I'll just mute this mic for a sec. Hello. Can you hear me now? Alright. We got the mic working again. Hold on. Let me double check over here. Can you hear me now? No, you can't. Fuck, it's still unmuted. Sorry, buddy. I'm having a shit show this morning. Edit. Copy link. No, hide. Duplicate. Edits. What the fuck? I don't know how this account got deafened, man. Can you hear me now, Stephen?
Yep.
Oh, sweet, we got it. Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Yep. Yep, you have got it.
Yeah, hopefully everybody can hear us on the stream now, because when I was talking on my phone, I don't think they could hear us. Yeah, anyway, so man versus boy, that was a hell of a hiding. When the fight was announced, it was a hell of a shock, and I had this thought that this might happen. But I did pick Anderson on points, thinking maybe he can use his feet, use some angles, but fighting the big dude as strong as him and doing that pulling back shit that he's been doing against the smaller guys really got him fucked up, eh?
Yeah, that's like when I commented in your chat, and I said, there could be an upset there in the fight, and with Anderson pulling back from punches. I sort of thought Anderson. I picked him to win it on points. I thought he would be more mobile, but he just stayed in the pocket with Bakole. I just couldn't believe it, mate, and it just he just got absolutely poleaxed, man. So
yeah, athleticism can look really good and take you a long way, but none of the punches that Anderson was throwing in, he landed some good overhand rights and shit on Bakole, and it was like, oh, that tickled. He keeps coming forward. Yeah, he keeps throwing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. They just had no effect.
Yeah, it was pretty scary for Anderson, I think. But big ups to Martin Bakole. He did a good job, and now the Americans will know who he is, and he's bound to get some good fights. And like I was looking at the rankings before, the next available guy in the WBA rankings is number 4, Michael Hunter, for the rematch. So I want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good, man.
What about your thoughts on the other fight, the Andy Ruiz and Jarell Miller? Give us your take on that, mate.
Oh, mate, hey, we're just Andy. I am so over Andy Ruiz. I'm sick of his bullshit, and I just don't want to see him again. He is the most indisciplined slob. He's not genuine. He talks a good game. He says all the right things, and then he just shows up fat ass.
Yeah,
it's just so disappointing, mate. I thought Miller should have won that fight.
Yeah,
and he'll get another opportunity, Miller, because Prince Turkey said that he thought Miller won.
Yeah,
so he'll give Miller another fight. It's not really going to hurt Miller. But Andy, boy, mate, he just needs to go away. If I was Joseph Parker and Andy asked for a rematch, I wouldn't waste my time.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't go near him.
If Parker's going to fight anybody, I want to see him fight Cabell. That style matchup makes for good entertainment, I think.
Cabell, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Andy weighed about 275.
Yeah, 274. That's too.
Jesus.
If he was muscular and covered with a layer of fat, like maybe Jarell Miller, it would kind of be acceptable. Even Martin Bakole, at 284, he's a big, thick guy, but he didn't look like a slob coming off the couch. Yeah.
No, he didn't. Andy just looks atrocious, man.
He keeps lying to everybody. I'm eating right now, and I'm doing this right. Every single fight, he says the same shit, and he still keeps coming in fat ass. So yeah,
man, I was so disappointed. Like, I picked him. He was so gassed. Like, he's a counterpuncher, but the thing was, he was so gassed he couldn't counterpunch. He was too fucking tired. He couldn't do anything, mate.
And even a lot of the shots he was landing through the middle of the fight, because he was landing, but they were like tippy-tappy, non-effective nothing while he was going backwards. And
he couldn't put it.
Yeah, I think Jarell Miller had it right. If you push Andy Ruiz back and keep your volume up, it's quite easy to beat him, because he ain't going to last long, especially in the physical state he comes into the ring as. So.
He didn't like those Miller body shots, eh?
He
did not
all.
Like those body shots from Miller, man. Yeah, he was really hurting him with them.
And it's not like Miller's a big puncher either. He throws a lot, but most of them are arm punches. But the amount of times he, with the volume, they take their toll eventually. And yeah, Andy knew about it. That's for damn sure. So I think Andy
Yeah,
only
he's
wants a
still coming.
rematch because he wants another turkey payday, and I don't think he deserves to get those turkey paydays anymore. He can piss off as
Oh,
far as I'm concerned.
yep. Yeah, I'm done with him, mate. I got no respect for the guy anymore. I'm just over him, man.
You
Even
know
the
what?
crowd was booing him after the.
I think Jared Anderson and Andy Ruiz would be an okay fight.
Yeah, yeah. It would
Wouldn't be too bad. Because Anderson doesn't have that power like Bakole. Sure, he might be able to outvolume Andy Ruiz, but he could get caught with a sharp counter, and who knows what effect it'll take on Anderson. Could be interesting, but I don't think it's going to be worthy of a Riyadh season card. Someone else can pay for that shit because it's not going to be worth a lot.
And Andy broke his hand too. God, his hand looked terrible.
It did, yeah. I was just seeing some photos when I was trying to track down these photos for the stream. I was, oh shit, yeah. I remember Jarell saying that Andy definitely broke his hand, but he kept fighting through it. But I feel bad for Jarell Miller. Yeah, he's brought a shitstorm on himself. He's come through it. He's come out the other side. He's regularly tested. He got beaten. He got the motivation to get his shit together, and then he gets jobbed on the cards. I thought it was a job on the cards. I thought it was 116 or 115, 113. That's it. I don't think there was a draw there myself.
No,
How did you score it?
I don't think so. I didn't score that one.
Okay.
I was just watching it, but yeah, I mean, once Andy gassed out, he was on the back foot so bad, man. He started fast. He looked good for 3 or 4 rounds, and I thought, oh yeah, you're looking okay here, and then he just gassed. You see him hit the wall,
Yeah.
And Jarell just took over.
Yeah. There was one round, I don't know if it was 11th or the 12th round. It might have been the 12th, but I think Miller was actually out of gas then too, and I think it was the 12th actually. I gave Andy the 12th because Miller didn't do anything, but yeah, even if you gave the first 4 to Andy and the 12th to Andy, that's still only 115, 113. I'm seeing some people talk about round 8, but shit, I don't know. I didn't see it. I thought that was still
I'll have to watch that. Yeah, I'll have to watch that fight again, actually. I got it on the zone, so I'll go back and have a look. But yeah, I had Jarell winning that, man. I thought Andy wouldn't have won more than 5 rounds, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Phil Carl Roberts in the house as well. Good to have you in, brother. And Stephen's commenting again in there. So yeah, the rest of the card was pretty entertaining. I was actually pretty disappointed in David Morrell. Did you see that one?
He was disappointed.
Yeah,
I watched that, man. I was disappointed, and he was the beast that was going to destroy Benavidez. Well, fuck, man. I think Benavidez would have a good chance against him.
I kind of wonder what happens because he just wasn't putting any punches together. He was just looking for one shot all the time. But what's his name? Hot Rod. He's not a bad boxer. He's pretty tough. But that movement and the control of distance from Hot Rod really seemed to bamboozle David Morrell. But I hadn't noticed before how bad David Morrell's footwork is. He's like got fucking little boots, that boy.
Yeah, he's been fighting guys that he's been able to get to and knock out. And then he's ended up fighting a guy who was able to move on him and who was tough. And yeah, it's a bit of a reality check for him. I mean, he's only had 11 fights or something.
Yeah, that was his 11th. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's actually a relatively inexperienced fighter. So I may have some mercy on him because of that. He's going to have to put a bit more work in before he takes those big fights, because people were saying he was going to destroy Benavidez. Well, mate, I think
not
Benavidez
like that,
would have a good chance against him. No, he's not going to do it like that.
No. I felt a little bit embarrassed after that because I was telling the boys before the fight started. Cubans are notorious for being boxers and quite boring at times, but then we're getting some of this new breed of guys coming out of Cuba that are aggressive and want to knock people out, like Yanir Dorticus and Andy Cruz and somewhat Luis Ortiz. But nah, not this dude. He ain't of that ilk now. I'm sure of
No.
it. So it was what it was.
Yeah.
Andy Cruz got a really good knockout over Antonio Moran. I didn't actually see that fight. It was like the 7th round or something on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see
Yeah,
Andy Cruz keep stepping it up because he's got that massive amateur pedigree. He doesn't need to build himself much. Most people who are interested in boxing know who he is. So let's get him in there eventually with a Tank or a Shakur. He's got a little way to go to get to that level.
Yeah, he got a nice stoppage, man. He had that Mexican shook, man. He was Moran. He was the ref was giving him a count, and then he just started staggering across the ring, man. And the ref he literally run past the ref, staggering forward. When the
You're
ref
done,
was
bro.
trying to give him a count. Yeah, the ref just waved it off, man. Yeah, it was a good stoppage. So
yeah, very cool.
Check it out. Eh? You still got the zone?
I still got the zone. Yeah, I have to go. I didn't see that one, so I have to go and check that one out. I will be going and watching the Miller and Ruiz fight again to make sure my scoring was okay. I thought it was 116, 112, but we'll see. What was the next one worth looking at? Isak Cruz and sorry, what were you going to say?
Pitbull. That was a Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah, Pitbull and Rayo Valenzuela. It was funny. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, I was going to do a stream the night before after the weigh-ins, and I flagged that idea because I was tired, but I went and watched the Bakole Yoka fight, and that kind of swung my mind. I cashed in my bet that I had on Anderson and went for Bakole instead. But I watched the Robert Garcia interview, and he's Rayo's coach. And after seeing them at the weigh-in and seeing the huge weight disparity, I thought, the height disparity and reach, I thought, well, if Robert's confident that Rayo can box his ears off, I'm going to go and put $2 on Rayo. I went and did that, and he was paying $7 or something to win on points. He was never going to knock out Cruz. So I chucked a couple of bucks on that with another couple of fights hooked on, so Andy Cruz by knockout and someone else. They were easy ones. And that came through. So $2 bet makes me $25. I was shit. Yeah, got to listen to Robert Garcia sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt I can't remember how I scored the fight. 7-5 to what's the guy's name? Venezuela.
Rayo. It's called Rayo. Yeah, Valenzuela.
Yeah, I can't remember how I scored it. Maybe 7-5 or 6-4, something like that. Isaac Cruz, he just couldn't get close. He was wailing away. And he just couldn't get close enough. I mean, he's one-dimensional, and he really should go back to 135.
Yeah, well, both of them are career 135 fighters anyway.
Yeah,
that big lunge, and he keeps doing the same shit. He doesn't jab his way in. He doesn't throw any straight punches. It's all just lunging, hook, and you keep doing the same shit. It's going to be pretty predictable. And Rayo was getting that jab, and as soon as Pitbull did the big lunge and he steps around to his right and throws a left uppercut and caught him just about every time. So
man. No, he deserved that. He deserved that win. It was a good fight.
He did. He's going to be an easy target for any of the other champions at 140, but a career 140 fighter should be putting Rayo to sleep. He doesn't hit hard. Yeah, he's got some skills, but his jab ain't going to be enough against guys that are going to be a similar size to him. But big ups, big congratulations to Rayo, and the hype train behind Isaac Cruz after his disputable loss to Tank going the distance. I think the hype's going to be rubbed off now. Really, Isaac Cruz is a 130 fighter. He's that small,
He's tiny, hey. He really is tiny.
Yeah. He's a freaking midget. And then
he should go back down.
Yeah. And then we had the main event. We had Israel Madrimov and Terence Crawford fight.
It was a good fight.
I always thought it was going to go to points.
Yeah, I had a bet on for points.
Yeah, because Madrimov was a career 154 fighter. He's got a massive amateur pedigree. He's not going to be the guy like Errol Spence to to get blown out that easy. It's not like he was weight drained either, like Errol Spence may have been. And he's really tricky. He's fast. You see how much he was moving. It made it really hard for Terence to set and do something.
Yeah.
He landed some really good right hands on Terence as well. With that herky-jerky, jumping around shit and moving his hands all the time. Not so much his body, but it looks like he's going to do something when his hands are moving like that all the time. So, it was good.
But I wasn't surprised. I put a bet on for Crawford to get a stoppage in rounds 9 to 12, and I put a bet on to win by UD. I knew it was going to go rounds. I watched as much footage as I could of Madrimov, and it was clearly obvious he wasn't going to be easy work. As you say, he's a natural 154. He's a big guy. He's got hand speed, foot speed, good power. He got good punch variety. Good chin. He's got a tough attitude, being Eastern European guy. And people say he's only had 11 pro fights or something coming into it. I said, yeah, but he's had 300 amateur fights. And when you've had that much ring time, you're going to have good fundamentals. You're going to know your way around a ring. So to me, it was obvious it was going to be hard work. But I felt like they both had their moments landing some good power shots. I thought the DAZN commentators were exaggerating a bit. The right hands Madrimov was... Some of them were landing, but a lot of them were hitting Crawford's gloves.
Yeah.
I thought Chris...
Or even some of the ones he was landing, Terence was pulling back and moving away, taking sting out of them as well, so...
Yeah. So I think that the comment like Chris Mannix was overplaying that a bit. But I think the difference between them, what gave Crawford the edge was his jab.
Yep.
Because he was able to control Madrimov. We rewatched the fight, and a lot of those rounds, he was stuck on the outside for like a minute and a half, just posturing, just feinting, but not throwing anything because he couldn't get inside.
Yep.
And the jab was the difference between them, and I got, I thought Crawford won 7 or 8 rounds.
Yeah,
I thought I thought the judges actually had it right. He won 7 or 8 rounds. I gave Crawford, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I gave Madrimov 5. I think I gave Crawford 6, 7. I gave Madrimov 8, 9, and 10. I gave Crawford 11 and 12. And there may have been another round that could have gone to Madrimov, but I think Crawford won the fight. I have no doubt he won the fight.
Yeah, I'm in your boat. 115, 113, or 116, 112. It's fair.
Yeah,
the only person really
won that fight.
Yeah, the only person, two people really saying anything about it is Madrimov himself. He thinks he won, but he's not kicking up a big stink about it. And Eddie Hearn thought his man won, but he's supposed to be saying that, isn't he?
So, yeah. He's going to say that. He always loses in the big fights, Eddie.
Yeah,
he doesn't have much luck, mate.
Well, it's, every time Terence is in the ring against the Matrimov fighter, guess who's won?
Oh yeah, I know.
It goes way back.
But I actually think this fight for Crawford is gonna age well, because I think Madrimov, he's gonna beat some big names at 154. I mean, he's no punk, man.
No, that's right. I saw an interview with Madrimov's manager afterwards, and he was saying exactly that. Anybody else in the 154 division, champions or not, that isn't Terence Crawford, Israel will beat them. I'm inclined to believe him.
Yeah,
Maybe. We'll see what happens. I think Tim Hsu, when he's not injured, he's a handful for anybody. But Madrimov
is a tall guy.
Yeah. Madrimov v. Hsu, I like that fight. That's a good fight.
Oh, it's a great fight. And Virgil Ortiz would be good.
Oh, yeah.
Jamel Charlo against Madrimov.
Oh, I don't like
That'll
that
be
name.
A good fight.
But yeah, it'll be all right. Yeah, it would be all right. That's for sure.
I think, as I say, the Crawford fight, it's going to age well on Crawford's resume, man. It's a good name to have on there.
Indeed.
So I was very happy. I was actually really impressed with Crawford's hand speed and his foot speed. He can still move, man. He's still fast.
Yeah, well, I think
I don't.
When he's just walking around and not training, he's about 168. He's about a super middleweight, so he's still got to lose weight to get down to 154 for fight weight. But he's a hell of a lot more comfortable. And we've heard through the years, everybody who's been in the ring with Terence Crawford, is really surprised with how strong he is. Not necessarily how hard he punches, but when you get in clinches and if you're trying to push him around, he's really strong. But when he's closer to his natural weight, he's going to be less drained. He's going to be even stronger, isn't he, really?
He is, man. And I mean, yeah, that wrestling background is going to give him that strength, eh? If you're trying to, push him around, he's going to be able to hang with you, I don't know if he should go to 168. I just don't know, mate. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a big step up, and he's going to have to be if he wants to. Like now, I don't begrudge him wanting to do it. If he's coming near the end of his career, so if he wants to try and climb Everest and fight Canelo, I got no issue with it. Good luck. You're going to make some good money, but he's going to have to be incredibly mobile in that fight, man. He's going to have to work that jab like crazy. And just jab, throw some nice counters, and then get out of there, step around, and fight a slick fight, and have look to outpoint Canelo. He doesn't want to trade with Canelo. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You do not want to be in the pocket long with a man. I mean, he's actually taller and longer than Canelo still, isn't he? But Canelo's been at 168 for some time now. I see Prince Turkey did put it out there for Canelo. Accept, and I was like, I wonder how much weight Canelo could lose safely without pressuring himself too much. Because if they could meet halfway, maybe at 160
or something,
or 162 or something like that, then it'd be much more attractive for both of them.
Because the thing is, if Crawford fights, if Canelo weighs in at 168, he's probably going to be at least 180 come the fight.
Yeah,
185 maybe.
I reckon he probably walks around at 200 pounds normally if he's not training.
So it's a very risky fight. I like Crawford. He's one of my favourites. And as I say, if he wants to do it, good luck to him because the payday will be great. And if he did pull it off, wow, that'd be amazing. But he's going to have to be so slick in that fight. Jabbing, counter-punching, moving, heaps of foot speed, hand speed, not staying in the pocket too long, and really look to move Canelo around, but still fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Don't do what Jamel did, just running away. Fight him, but fight him smart. You want to combine some aggressiveness, but with smarts and mobility.
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
Take away the opportunities for Canelo to hit the body or get him on the ropes or anything like that, because that's where he's going to be in real trouble. But
that's it totally. Because remember when he fought Jamel when he got him on the ropes?
Yeah,
and he dropped him, eh?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty much the standard Mexican style. Really, you push them back to the ropes, and as soon as you get them back at the ropes, that's when you let your hands go. That's it. That's it. Nothing else really. And Canelo's no different. If he gets you back to the ropes, he's going to go ballistic on you. Same as BBB even does the same shit.
He does, eh? Yeah.
That's what Bakole was doing too against Anderson. As soon as Anderson hit his back on the ropes, Bacole's letting his hands go. So.
And he didn't start. He didn't slide down the ropes and try and get away or nothing. He did duck down and step around. God, it was just.
It's amazing how quick that big man's hands are too, eh? Oh, I'm amazed at the hand speed.
They were fast, man.
Hey, what do you reckon?
He's going to fight.
Where you go?
Where you go, mate?
No, Crawford.
Virgil Ortiz. If he doesn't fight Canelo, I think Turkey wants Virgil Ortiz. That's as long as Virgil Ortiz gets through his next fight. That will be an exciting fight because Crawford has actually got more reach than Virgil Ortiz, and he's a good counterpuncher, and Virgil Ortiz is a come-forward aggressive fighter. So there should be openings there for Crawford to counter him. So I think stylistically, it'll be a real good matchup. So we'll see what happens.
It's a favourable fight. Yeah, it's definitely a favourable matchup for Crawford with an aggressive fighter. I think, I think knock Virgil out, but it could be a very fun fight while it lasts because Virgil's going to bring entertainment, isn't he?
Oh yes, it'll be stylistically, it'll be great, man. It'll be a great matchup. Yeah.
He does have a fight coming up, doesn't he? Virgil, he's fighting.
This
Sergey Bohachuk, isn't he?
Yeah, I've never
That-
seen the other guy fight, but
Yeah, you have, mate. Trust me, you've seen him fight. I'm sure
yeah.
you would have seen him fight. But that'll be an interesting. If he comes through that with flying colours, then certainly a Crawford fight could be on the table. But I still want to see Virgil Ortiz and Tim Shue get it on. That's an awesome matchup for me.
Oh, that was so disappointing for everybody. Everyone was pumped about that, eh?
Yeah.
Damn, that was good, man.
Apparently, because they've both got PBC ties, if Virgil does come through this Bohachuk fight, all right, they're going to try and reschedule it. But PBC don't really have a lot of says these days. What Turkey wants is what Turkey gets, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to argue either, because he's brought some massive, awesome fights to us the last 18 months or so. So
he's putting the American promoters to shame, and they're all running after him like little dogs anyway.
Yeah,
it's like he owns them, man.
It was.
But, hey, also, Errol Spence, Fundora's been. I don't think it's happening for some reason. Postponed or something.
Oh, yeah, I did hear something about that. Why doesn't Errol just hang him up? If he's going to hold all this shit up, why doesn't he just hang him up, man?
Just go, mate. You know.
This in-house PBC stuff is over. So,
it is. It's done, mate.
Yeah,
it is done. I wonder if Tank or is Shakur fighting Zepeda? That'll be a good fight.
Well, initially they were saying Oscar was saying, yeah, Shakur can fight Zepeda, but he's going to have to sign the Golden Boy because Shakur's a free agent at the moment. I don't know quite what Shakur's going to do, but there was talk of the Lomachenko fight as well, but Loma doesn't want to fight until next year because he wants a break. And I don't know, there's whispers of Tank and Shakur have been talking, but I don't ever hold any faith that fight's going to happen. I don't think Tank wants that fight because Shakur will make him look bad. We can't have that.
His career is so micromanaged, though. Yeah, Tank. It's yeah. I like Tank. Like I find Tank entertaining when he fights, but it's just the opponents they pick him. It's like it's so manufactured, man. Yeah.
So very carefully managed, but those of us who've been watching boxing for years, we know very well he hasn't fought the best competition. He can't call himself the best lightweight. He's, it's all just hype.
He went through 135, man, and he hardly fought anybody.
Yeah.
It was terrible, mate. It was just such a shame because you had him there, you had Haney was there, Tio was there. I think Ryan was there. So Ryan was the only one he fought. All the other guys he avoided them, mate. It's just a real shame. And how old is Tank now? 30?
Something like that, yeah, round about.
Yeah, he must be pushing 30, so he might only be around a year or two.
You better get into it and get what he wants to achieve done. Or he's going to be remembered as the guy who claimed to be the best but didn't fight the best. So,
yeah, man.
That's what it is.
What about
welcome
Daniel
to the chat,
Daniel
Blueprint,
Dubois?
while we're here. Sorry.
Daniel Dubois and AJ. I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be an interesting fight. I think 22nd of September, I think, or something like that. 21st.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a goodie, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are overestimating what AJ's done in the last little while. He hasn't fought anybody of any real note, even though he's got some. Fighting Wallen, that was probably the best proven guy he's fought since he lost to Usyk. Yes, he's fought Francis Ngannou, but that's a pretend fight, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah, man.
And he hasn't fought anybody else. Did he fought Franklin? Was that after?
Yeah.
After the losses to Usyk, maybe? But yeah, he hasn't fought any Zhili Zhangs or Martin Bakoles or even Joseph Parkers or Ajit Caballos. These guys who are on the rise. He's fighting the guys who are on the downs and the guy with 2 pro boxing fights who hasn't won one. So
And Dubois got power.
Dubois
If he
has
can land on
power,
HJ.
and he's been fighting legit guys. So
Yeah, and he dug deep. He actually dug deep against Hrgovic. You know, I thought I sort of questioned if he would have had the heart against Hrgovic once the going got tough, but he dug deep when he had to, man.
yeah, well, I see a lot of
Yeah,
people
so, you know.
used to say that Hrgovic hits real hard, but now that Daniel didn't walk through it, but he took those shots all night and then come back and stopped Hrgovic. Oh, Hrgovic doesn't hit that hard anymore. I don't believe that. I think he still hits hard enough. Maybe not quite as hard as AJ, but Dubois took those punches. I mean, some of them made him step back a step or two, but nothing really got his legs wobbling or anything like that, eh? So he's got a power of his own, and if he can land on AJ, we know what happens when AJ gets hit on the temple.
Yeah, man. And I mean, when you look at Dubois against Joe Joyce, I mean, I know he stopped because he got his eye socket broken, but he wasn't actually knocked out.
No.
So you know he can take a punch. Yeah. So you know.
I was actually a bit skeptical because of that Kevin Lorena. The first time he got dropped in that, was it the first round? The first time he got dropped, he looked a bit buzzing. I'm thinking, shit, this Kevin Lorena's only a cruiserweight. But it seemed it was more the leg injury that was the problem there. And I got to take my looks. Daniel Dubois does have a chin. I didn't think he did, but he does have a chin. And now he's got heart. He's found his balls, and AJ better be on point because Daniel Dubois can beat him.
Well, that Daniel, I think that he fought Jarell Miller, and he needed to dig deep, and he did.
Mm.
And then he needed to dig deep against Hrgovic, and he did. So I think he's learnt a couple of hard lessons in that fight that when he has to dig deep, he can.
Yep.
And so, you know, I'm looking forward to the fight, man. I think it's going to be a good one. Some people are shitting on it, and I'm like, well, what, mate? How could you shit on it? Two big guys.
Shitting on it.
Yeah, I've heard a few people shitting on. Oh, I don't want to see that fight. And I'm like, mate, these two big dudes who can both crack fighting at Wembley or something in front of 90,000 people. You don't want to see it. You know?
I guess these people that are downing at it, they just want to see Fury and Joshua, I guess.
Yeah. But
I think Joshua wins that fight if it happens as well, but that's a different story.
I do. I think Fury, that fight he had with Usyk, man, when he got hit with that left on the ropes. Oh my God, mate, he was so shocked, man. You know, he came back as he always does, but how many times can you come back? Usyk, if he gets Fury hurt again in the rematch, I think he'll stop him. He'll finish it the next time.
Well, the amount of big shots Tyson Fury's taken over his career, he's been on the canvas 8-9 times, but none of them had he been hurt like Usyk had hurt. I've never seen such a big man stumble all over the place for so long and still manage to keep his feet for so long. That dude was really, really hurt. So it's accumulation. It's going to get worse for him. Usyk isn't that big a puncher. Sure, he's got enough pop to do the damage as we saw, but Usyk if Fury starts fighting guys like AJ, Bakole, and Jili Zhang, I think we can see him get totally sparked if he fights some of those guys.
I think so. I mean, that Fury, the trilogy with Wilder, it took a lot out of both of them. So it's
it is what it is.
I think it will definitely. I think it'll be Crawford's last fight. I'm not Crawford. Sorry, Fury's last fight. I think he's going to get to that.
That'll be his cash out against Joshua. I'm still skeptical whether he's actually going to fight the rematch with Usyk as well. I'm not 100% sure that's actually going to happen. So we'll see. The payday for him to fight Joshua could be bigger, and that could take priority. See what happens in September with Joshua and Dubois. And,
Dubois,
we'll see what happens.
I thought they'd scheduled that fight with Usyk, but I don't know if they haven't penciled it in stone yet, or...
I'll have a look right now. Give me a sec. Alexander Usyk box rec. They were talking about December, weren't they? Oh yeah, we have a confirmed date. The 21st of December. And
Wow.
What's this? Kingdom Arena in Riyadh is where it's going to be. So just before Christmas, we get another Christmas present. It won't be for Undisputed this time, unfortunately, but it will still be for 3 of the belts. Be the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO.
Still a big fight. Yeah, still a big fight.
Actually, I'll have a quick look, see if they've got anything else scheduled on the card, but I don't think they will yet. Event. Oh, they do. No, they don't. They've just got that fight. Let's have a quick look. What else have they got on the Anthony Joshua Dubois card? Have they got some other stuff on there yet? Anthony Joshua box rec. Click on the event. And we have a few fights on here. The co-main event is Liam Smith, Beefy, taking on Josh Kelly. So that'll be 154, is it? Oh no, it's at middleweight. 160. Excuse me. Tyler Denny. That guy's a warrior, mate. Big overachiever. Tyler Denny, he's facing Hanzar Shiraz. Oh, Tyler's going to get knocked the fuck out in that one, I think.
Shiraz, I think I remember that guy, Shiraz. He's good, eh?
He knocks people out with his jab. Right.
Yep.
Yep. We've got Anthony Kikache. And where'd my mouse go? Anthony Kikache is going to be fighting Josh Warrington. Is that going to be welter? That's super featherweight. What? That's little. Okay. Who else have we got? We've got Joshua Buatsi. And he's going to be fighting Willie Hutchinson. Ooh, Willie's on a streak. Buatsi didn't look good in his last fight. Who did he lost his last fight, didn't he? To... Shit, who was it? Or did he win it? Oh no, he beat Dan Aziz, that's right. Over the distance. That's right. It didn't look great though. But Dan Aziz didn't look much better. And the last one listed here is Mark Chamberlain. All action machine. Prince Turkey's favourite fighter. He's going to be fighting Josh Padley. Who the hell is that? I've never heard that dude's name before, but he's 14-0, so he must be somebody. Josh Padley. Must be some Irish guy or something. Don't recognise the face. He's only got 4 KOs out of his 14 wins. He's fighting in the UK. The fight before that was... Where's that? I don't know that flag. Julian's? Or St. Julian's? I don't know where that is. Yeah, all UK fights. So I can't say I've seen this guy before. Josh Padley. Oh, Chamberlain should knock him out, as he does. It's good like that. So that's the Riyadh card in London on the 22nd of September. It's the 21st in the UK, but the 22nd here in New Zealand. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about us covered. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap this up, mate?
That's about everything that's happened so far. But just going to be interesting going forward, just to see who Crawford fights and if Parker gets another fight with Zhang.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I had a sneaking suspicion they were going to try and set up the Zhang fight, give him his homecoming fight in China to because he's got a big following after that knockout of Deontay Wilder. Half of China went mad for him, and that's a lot of people, billion people in China. So go over there and make some money. I don't know if Joe would beat him or lose him. It's still a pick him, but we'll see what happens. I still wouldn't mind seeing Bakole take that shot too.
Yeah,
Bakole
Zhang.
Zhang.
Damn, man.
Bakole and Zhang. Bang, bang, bang.
Fuck, I think someone's getting blasted, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I actually think, who do you think would gas out first?
Oh, Zhang will gas out first, but you know, it's either going to be a knockout for Zhang in the first 5 or a knockout for Bakole in the second half. Is the way I'd say it.
Yeah, that'll be a good one, man. Be exciting.
They've both got hella power, that big man power, and they've both got hella chins, so what a fight that would be.
Fuck yeah.
And then I don't think anybody would want to fight the winner of that mofo.
No, shit no, man.
Scary shit.
Fuck. Yeah, that's about all that's been happening, I think.
Indeed.
I don't know what other fights are coming up.
I haven't even looked yet, but I should get a bit more
I look at
active
ESPN. Yeah, if you go on ESPN Boxing, and it's got the whole schedule for all the different companies and everything.
Yep.
It just lists them all. Yeah, it's a really good way to keep up on it.
Yep. If you're not being weight specific, that's the way to go. If I'm too busy and only going to talk about heavyweights, I'll just go to BoxRec, go to schedule, and then hit filters and put only heavyweights, and it just lists all the heavyweight fights.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Joe Joyce Chisora, holy shit, man! I really thought Joyce was going to win that one, eh?
I thought Derek must be done by now, but
yeah,
oh shit! I feel really good for Chisora. You know, the dude's been pure entertainment his whole career. He's come out on the short end of the stick a couple of times on the cards here and there, but he put in a great performance, shocked everybody, and Derek Chisora. Who's he going to fight next? Because he deserves one more big fight before he goes. I remember him saying he wants 50 fights. I think he's done 48 now, so he's going to do one more big fight, and then he wants to do one fight in his homeland. I can't remember. It's not Jamaica.
Caribbean.
Somewhere in the Caribbean. Can't remember. But he wants to do a homecoming fight for his final fight, so we'll see what happens. But
it was 50, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight shocked me. Shit, man. I'm glad I didn't bet on it because I would have lost my money.
Yeah, well, it makes you think a lot. I've heard a lot of people say, how the hell did Joe Joyce beat Joe Parker then? You know, because Parker beat Chisora twice. But people really forget quick how heavy. That was the heaviest Joe Parker had ever been in his career as a pro.
Oh, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
His body, I was shocked when he came in at that weight. It was awful. I really had concerns when I found that out. He was not well going into that fight, apparently, in camp.
Apparently, yeah, he had some kind of lung infection or something, and that's why he couldn't train as well. Yeah. So, I guess the money was too good to turn down, but you know, he's made a hell of a bounce back. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't mind seeing Joe get revenge on Joe.
Same. That's a fight.
I think Joe Parker in shape and Joe Joyce in his current state, it's a problem for Joe Joyce. But
I think so. His chin's he's getting knocked down now.
Yeah.
That so-called granite chin's gone, man. He's getting put on his ass.
Yeah. And he's certainly too old to learn new tricks. You know, everybody's been telling him for the last couple of years, you get in these big fights, you're going to have to move your head. And he still won't move his head. So, you're not going to block him.
I'm the juggernaut, man.
Yeah. I'll just walk through it.
I've
got 5 times bone density. Whack!
You can't walk through everything, mate. you know?
So, yeah, I think he learned the hard way. It was after the fight. he was asking the crowd, or he was asked if he wants to keep going, and he didn't seem too sure, and he was asking the crowd, and the crowd like, hey. It's like, okay.
You're washed, mate. You're washed.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck, he's
washed,
had it,
so.
mate.
Hang him up, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's about us for today, people. Thanks for popping in, Stephen. Much appreciated.
Sweet, man. Yep.
Big ups to Carl, Phil Carl Roberts in the chat. Big up to Blueprint as well. And this other guy, I can't say his name. Year-old? I don't know. Year-old, something like that. But thank you all for popping in. Keep an eye on the channel. I'll be trying to get out some prediction videos when we get some decent fights again. And yeah, we'll catch you all next time. I'm Johnny from Big Boys Boxing. And that's Marla. Stephen, we out of here. So,
later, mate.
Alright, team. That's all we have for you today. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and that bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss nothing. Also, get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The invite link is in the description. There's lots of things you can find there, like fight links, boxing chat, prediction leagues, fight streams, and fight parties. So get into it. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. So